Hey folks, welcome to today's video. It's a quick tip on doing card springs. Today I'll be using the Bicycle Shadow Masters deck, if any of you are curious as to what deck it is. Card springing is not difficult to learn, but it's difficult to get good at because it does take a certain amount of feel. I'm not going to be teaching you from start to finish how to teach card springing. I'm going to leave that to people more experienced than myself. But I do have a few tips that have helped me, and I want to share them with you. The first tip is to make sure that in between each time you practice a spring, make sure your cards are nice and even. If you spring your cards and then just quickly put them back together, they're kind of lumpy. And if they're lumpy, they're going to spring lumpy, right? It's not going to be nice and smooth. Like, the more experience you have, the better that you'll be able to overcome that. But when you're first learning, every little bit helps. The second tip, and this might not work for you, but it worked for me, is that as I was springing, I was thinking I'm springing the card so that it lands like this in my pinky. So almost my aim point is the crook of my pinky right here. Because I find if I can shoot the card in there, it's easy for me to grab it and the cards don't go flying all over the place. So I'm here and I missed a little bit there, but you see how it's actually going right into the crook, and my cards aren't going all over the place. They're actually staying fairly close together, and they're not shooting out all over. But of course, when you're practicing, that's going to happen, and that still happens to me from time to time if I'm not particularly paying attention. The next tip is, don't try to go from a far distance too soon. Get used to springing them at a very close distance to start, because you want to get a feel for having those cards go one after another in a constant stream, because I've found that if you do that, it helps control the cards a little bit better. If you do it in jumps and spurts, the cards have a tendency to go all over the place. So don't try and go from a really long distance to start off with. Keep it at a fairly short distance until you can get the hand movement to get the cards to go in one nice stream. And as you get better at that, you can start making the distance a little bit greater each time. And eventually you'll get it so that you can go from a pretty decent distance without your cards going all over the place. Like, it's easy to pull your hand away really far, but you don't have control of the cards, and that's something that you want to maintain when you're doing the card springs, because the worst thing is you do a card spring in front of somebody and the cards go everywhere. I hate when that happens. Well guys, that's it for today's quick tips. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please like the video and subscribe. It does help. If you have any tips for people that maybe worked for you, please leave them in the comments, and we'll see you in the next video. Thanks very much, guys.